I don't even need you to see me in that type of light because I'll bug out.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Remember earlier this year, they had a report. This is from the Sun News. They want out First Take crew considering quitting as Stephen A. Smith's push for $7 million more a year leaves tension at an all-time high. Details of behind-the-scenes problems revealed. And this was earlier this summer, June 29, 2024. Two production team members have given insight into the problems caused by Stephen A. Smith pushing for a record new ESPN contract and the behavior of fellow co-host Shannon Sharpe. Yeah.
Well, listen, I just seen the podcast, Chris Carter, the legend, Minnesota Vikings, and I seen he had Stephen A. Smith on there, and I'm gonna be honest, if I worked with Stephen A. Smith, after seeing that, I wouldn't want to work with him no more.
What with the WNBA thing?
Just with him, period. Like I'm just being honest. He's wicked smart. He's just nasty with it. And I think ESPN needs to be careful because I'm gonna be honest. I only can speak for myself. I'm only watching ESPN if Shannon Sharpe is on there. He's entertaining, he's funny, he's informal, and right now he's just the guy. And I'm gonna be honest. My opinion, I can be wrong. The contract says Stephen A. Smith is that guy, but let's be realistic. How many games we seen Stephen A. Smith there? Ain't nobody going crazy. Ain't nobody want to take pictures with him. Shannon Sharpe walk in the building, it's a different feel. So for me, Disney and ESPN Gut Fleet better be careful because I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people was watching because of Shannon Sharpe.
So let Stephen A. walk. Shannon, here you go. Here's the keys to ESPN. Stephen A. Smith has been driving this shit for the last 12 years. Okay, we don't want to pay you. We want to pay you now. Here you go. Do you think he has the ability, whether you like Stephen A. Smith or not, all of us have different opinions and everybody in the comments does. Do you think he has the ability to do what Stephen A. has done for ESPN over the last 12 years? Because people thought when Skip left, they was like, how? For a while, they was like, how is Stephen A. going to resurrect this? How is he going to stay afloat? He's got the big mouth, pause, but that don't matter. You gotta show and prove. And for the last 12 years, what was this always? They number one, whatever that means, but they have been. Does Shannon have the ability to stand on his own at ESPN and do that with that level of responsibility? This is a question.
No, he does not. He hasn't shown that. He's shown he could carry a YouTube channel, and they're going to push that to the maximum effect. But that's not First Take. First Take is different, man. You have the debate and all that other stuff. I think Stephen A., he understands what it takes. He's been there from damn near the beginning. He was been sitting in the back room. He knows how all that stuff works. And I'm sure Shannon Sharpe is learning. But as much as you say you don't want to see Stephen A., oh boy, I understand that. But Stephen A. is the one that brings a lot. Remember, he brought JJ Redick on. He looks for the confrontation. Shannon Sharpe doesn't really. He might be more sensitive than Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. knows at the end of the day, you might flame me, but I want that. The reason why I didn't like Max Kellerman is because he didn't flame me, like flame me, where you are embarrassing me on a different level. Max got him with a debate, and they said, okay, but that wasn't Skip Bayless and JJ Redick. JJ Redick used to flame him, and it would be like they would keep retweeting it.
You know, Fabian, I don't know. The more that they ask Stephen A. about that Max situation, the more he tells more truth. Every time I see him, more and more as they ask more questions about that situation, we learn more and more. Go ahead, bro. I just heard what you said about Max, and I was like, yeah, we learning more about what really happened with that situation.
Well, to me, it's from what I said from the beginning. The ratings never changed with him and Skip Bayless, right? Because it wasn't going to change. They've got their slot. You can't take them out of their spot. Max wasn't going to bump it up because there was no fire. Max was just an intellectual dude, and that's cool. But where's the other element to flame? You got to flame him. There's no fire, bro. With Sharpe there, you bring fire. But Stephen A's the guy who brings JJ Redick to argue with Kendrick Perkins. They like that shit.
He said Max was too smart for the show. That's basically what he said. He said that dude was just too smart to be up there with me.
He doesn't fit that style. Remember, once he goes to YouTube, he's gonna restart his career. Like when he was on the public access channel in New York, Go ahead, AllBall.
My opinion. I disagree with y'all with the Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, at times he brought the fire. What I think was happening is when they get guests on the show, a lot of guests like Max and don't like Stephen A. Smith and gravitated to Max. And Stephen A. Smith can't have that happen. You can't have a TO on the show say Max is acting blacker than you. That's almost like, we have our show and every time a guest come on, they gravitate to y'all too and don't gravitate to me. Or however you want to. After a while, it's like that causes conflict. I think Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith was good together. Pause. But once again, Stephen A. Smith, with the mindset and the person that he is, bruh, just imagine when we on a break and we in the green room. Imagine Stephen A. Smith sitting in the corner and all the people was talking to Max. Because Max is the cool white boy. Max is one of us. Max is smart, articulate, cool, keep it real.
Raps, nose boxing,
exactly.
right? Like all that. Like, yeah.
I think that played the part. Because remember, Stephen A. Smith got to be the head honcho. Simple and plain. And I think
with that being
said,
but OG, with that being said, right? What you just saying, everything that you said, Stephen A. got to be the head honcho. There's a new sheriff in town, like we just said. So now, again, is he okay with that level of competition in the building now? Like, I got Max Kellerman out of here. He didn't have enough invested in this sports media lane for people to feel a certain way if we replace him. If Shannon Sharpe is removed off ESPN, that's going to start some shit. Yeah. That's going to start some heavy shit.
I don't see him. That's why you can't remove him, number one. But it is interesting because we said it a couple weeks ago, Flea, and then all of a sudden, Stephen A. Smith turned it up. It was too much of that play. You don't disagree about nothing all of a sudden, or everything is so nice. And then he would start to poke at him with the whole Deion Sanders thing. Well, Deion's my man and everything, but you dead wrong. Paul Feinbaum's my man. And Shannon's just kind of quiet. I'm like, all right, that got to change soon. And it changes when you realize, I believe, tomorrow when he walks through them doors in ESPN or whenever, they're going to treat him differently, bro. It's just like you just said, oh, boy, it's funny you just say that. That gravitation he's going to get, the gravity is going to change. All the jokes, oh, now you win this, now you win more in vogue. Remember, I think Stephen A. thinks he's funnier than what he is. If you don't laugh at his jokes, he feels a certain way. I get it. But Shannon Sharpe's been this guy his whole life. That's why I was mad when he didn't do that to Skip. You've been this since I seen you on TV. Funny dude.
Call the National Guard.
We are killing him out there.
We're killing these niggas.
Come on,
when
man.
he walks through ESPN and he's walking as that guy, it's gonna change. This puts him up another notch. And there might be more tension on that crew, bro. He's gonna have more say so. And we know he doesn't like that.
But he should. But see, this is where if guys like Stephen A. Smith is as smart as they say they are, when you listen about how he talks about Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, this is you getting what you want. You getting the guy that's bringing the attention and everything that you want. So for me, I listen, man. Sometimes in life, some guys, they become them guys, and at this point, it's Shannon Sharpe's time. A lot of people when he left Skip, I seen this. I only can speak for myself. I said he could become the next. I keep forgetting his name, Fabian. Muhammad Ali's guy.
Oh, Howard Cosell.
Bro, right. You know why? Let me just break it down 30 seconds. I've always said this. Everybody rocks with Look at the guests he has. Look at the guests he gets on Club Shay Shay. Everybody else that gets those guests, it's not that energy. Bro, it's his time. And if Stephen A. Smith is smart, you have to embrace that. Because if you don't embrace that, we already know you're a hater. Now you coming off as I think if Stephen A. Smith doesn't embrace Shannon Sharpe, Flea, which I don't think he is, he's going to lose a lot of fans. And I think his fan base is going to start going down. Initially,
when you said the thing earlier about, them gravitating more to Max Kellerman, I didn't buy into that as much because I don't buy into that. But now when you put Shannon Sharpe in that same position, right? Imagine if Marlon Wayans just had beef with DJ Vlad. He didn't go to no Stephen A. Smith show.
Absolutely not. I'm going to sit with Shannon.
So now imagine if tomorrow they're like, Marlon got a movie coming out and Stephen A. texts Marlon and he don't even reply. But Shannon texts him. And he like, what up, Unc? Those little things right there, that's what could rock you. And if you're insecure, if AllBall can get in contact with somebody, now I can't. It's natural to feel a certain way. But you could ruin the whole damn game just by feeling insecure and letting that engulf you. I would never let that rock me. But that's not the engine that made Stephen A. Smith and got him to that spot. That's not how he's built. He's very insecure. He's not gonna like that. Shannon Sharpe is not just a bigger celebrity, bro. You're way more powerful. That's all. I've seen Shannon Sharpe's blueprint. If you look at it, all the top videos, they're nothing but comedians. Steve Harvey was the top guy before that.
But he leaned into that. He said that. He didn't hide that from nobody. I want to talk to these comedians. I don't see nobody doing it. I don't see nobody leaning into it. I want to do that. And it was a brilliant move, to be honest. Like, that was brilliant.
He got his own. I'm trying to be respectful, but it's almost like like the comic view. It's like the comic view all over again. And Stephen A. could never do that. Right, but hold on, boy.
I can see what you're saying.
That's why this thing with the tape right now, not for nothing, it sounds funny, but let's say the other side, like he really accidentally went live or whatever, and this is all an accident. That's that fate, because like you said, Flea, this didn't have to work, but we all believe it is gonna work. Sometimes that fate is not just them pushing a button, Illuminati. Sometimes when the guy in the upper room is on your side, there's nothing you could do about it.
I'm just trying to figure out when, and don't hold on to this word I'm about to use, but it's just for what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to remember when something scandalous like this has happened to a brother who's benefited from it. Like, how many brothers have benefited from situations like these? Like, I'm trying to think about, like, maybe it's not comparable, but Boston fired Udoka. They got him the fuck out of there. They said, I don't care how good of a coach you are. You sleeping with women that are non-factors on the Boston Celtics team, and we got to get you out of here. But again, it may not be comparable. I'm not saying that the two are the same. I'm just saying these situations never work out the greatest for us.
But we need a gauge on why did that not work for him? And the first thing I think about is because Boston could not clean that up internally. Impossible for them, because the CEO, whatever he was, he said, it was an hell no.
Yeah, right.
We need, who's going to sit at the table and be like, yeah, I want out of here.
But hold on,
I don't see enough votes going that way. You know what I'm saying?
But also with Udoka, let's be for real. If we want to, by the letter of the law, he was married. So, it's different if you're single. I understand. Listen, if Udoka isn't married, hold on. If Udoka isn't married
to Nia Long,
right, and then Nia Long, now everybody's feeling pity for her. Remember, it almost looks like a crime. Unc is single.
No. Udoka's not married.
No, I'm saying
he's not married to Nia Long.
Oh, they wasn't married.
But that's a public relationship.
Right.
Okay, everybody's aware of.
I'm saying Unc is single. Unc ain't did nothing wrong. I understand where everybody going. I'm just saying it's different when you do something that's deemed wrong in the eyes of people.
To add to that real quick, old boy.
Go ahead.
He's not married, and as far as we know, young lady in the video ain't either. Allegedly. And that's the difference so far with that Boston scenario where it's public relationship. But it's still great you brought it up, Flea, because we need something to bounce off of it. You need something to gauge. Like, how have we seen this before? How is this gonna work for him?
That's what I'm concerned about, Fabian. OG.
I have zero concern.
Huh?
I have zero concern.
Listen, gotta embrace it. Gotta embrace it.
I know that it's fly right now. It's fly because guess what? That's our Unc. So we like, yeah, Unc, yeah. But there's a whole nother set of people, group of people that are looking at this in disgust. Be honest.
And remember, when that was going down, that's when Malik, if you notice, Malika Andrews ain't never in no hot water no more. She doesn't want to be a part of that shit show anymore. She's never saying nothing but nothing. She wants nothing to do with that.
She just married, right?
I seen her, whatever. Yeah, I seen her. But remember when that first popped off, she was trying to check Stephen A. And Stephen A. said, hold on. Don't you ever come on my show, right? Because the grounds that Stephen A. Smith was talking about was like, yo, that happens all the time. You think that's the first time that took place? And I'm talking about the same scenario. CEO, CFO, head coach, and all that. Why is this coming out? There's a secret to that we don't even know about.
That was his stance. Consistent.
We don't even know what happened with Unc, and there's no backlash on Twitter. There is no, this girl's married to this. There's no real tabloid fodder besides this is Shannon Sharpe with this random Instagram girl. That's all we have so far. There is no, this is CFO, whatever it is. And there's no big secret behind the hidden door that Stephen A. Smith might know about that we weren't let in on the Udoka thing. So I think for me, if Disney's being real, they might put out a memo to clean it up a little bit, but they're laughing while typing that shit up. They really are.
We gotta remember too. Pat McAfee has a show on ESPN, right? And so now they're gradually crossing that line of we want to fuck with the people, right? Like they're gradually getting into that. So I don't know. I just think it's going to be a little harder for him to navigate this than with that goofy ass accent and smiling and saying what, like, he can't smile and joke his way through this one. On his show, maybe, but when he goes and sits in front of the world, Disney, ESPN, he can't smile and joke his way through this one. I would love it, but he can't. It's not the space for it.
I get what you're saying, Fleet.
It's
like
not
I
the
said,
space. If we on his show,
ball, real quick. Pat McAfee done said some worse things on the air or on the ESPN airwaves.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like Caitlin Clark, a bitch.
Listen,
right?
It's a new day, you know, and I think, you know, it's a new time. And once again, I believe, just being honest, Shannon Sharpe ain't do nothing wrong. He got caught doing something that all human beings do. It's just that he's a celebrity. He's, you know, in the limelight. He's a huge star. But, you know, listen, man, he said, son of Disney, ready the X-Men writer for a cartoon pick. Let me explain something to y'all. Shannon Sharpe is the biggest thing smoking right now. Disney will be crazy to let him go. I'm not saying Disney don't need him. No, there's Disney. But at the same time, Shannon Sharpe ain't going to be hurting because all it's doing is going to boost his social media presence, his presence in general, his YouTube presence. He ain't going to miss out on no money. Listen, I agree, Fleet. They're going to have a talk, have a meeting, maybe put something out. He may have to apologize and move forward.
Yo, man, they do everything, and you could figure out whoever they is, but they do everything to cut us at our legs, knock us down a notch when they feel you too high on that horse, you too up there. You have some humility, old country nigga. Here, now you ain't on ESPN no more. Hey, humble yourself. And that's unfortunate that people operate like this. Y'all can.
Too many people rock with Unc, bro.
But I think it's the fact that you have to have dirt on somebody to even do something like they don't have the one up on him. He has 1 year
invested in ESPN. Why do y'all think like they have to stay in that match?
Because they just re-upped.
They will get out of that money if they don't want to if they won't want to pay him.
What could you
for
possibly
something like that?
Bro, and now imagine when they get the sponsors coming to them about First Take and they saying, yo, Shannon Sharpe ain't there no more? We looking at all your impressions and everything on YouTube and social media and all that. That's gone? Nah. Trust you, Bob Iger is on the phone with him, chuckling it up right now. Trust you me.
Smarter and's been doing this way before Shannon was even a thought in media. Before they made Stephen A. who he is. Yes, they are part of making Stephen A. That ESPN, that machine, they are part of making who he is. So I just don't think the investment, if it does go south, I don't think the investment for ESPN is worth it. They could cut their ties. They don't give a fuck. They've been rocking way longer without Shannon Sharpe. This is 1 year in.
Flea, it's football season, Flea. I'm sorry. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.